Welcome back, everyone. We're diving back into the world of AI, ready to keep learning how to speak its language.
Definitely. Last time we got our feet wet with prompt engineering.
Yeah, we set the stage.
But today we're gonna go deeper.
Yeah, way deeper. Like how these systems actually think.
I think a lot of people have played around with AI, like GPT-4.
Yeah, for sure.
Asking it to write poems or summarize an article or whatever.
Right.
But have you ever thought about how it actually does that?
It really is kind of mind-blowing when you stop and think about it. Taking a few words and making something amazing.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what we're demystifying today.
It's like a behind-the-scenes tour of the AI's brain.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. What exactly is an AI language model?
Basically, an AI language model is like a really complex algorithm that's been trained on tons and tons of text data.
Okay.
Like we're talking books, articles, code, you name it.
So it's kind of like one of those super readers who can devour a whole library and remember every single word.
That's a pretty good analogy.
Yeah.
But remember, the AI isn't really understanding the text the same way a human would. It's more about recognizing patterns.
Okay, so it's more about statistics then.
Exactly, making statistical predictions.
Gotcha.
So when you give it a prompt, it's not really thinking about the meaning. It's more like it's playing this giant game of what comes next.
Oh, that's interesting.
Based on all the patterns it's learned.
Okay, so can you give us an example?
Sure. Imagine you prompt the AI with, "The cat sat on the..." What do you think it would predict?
Probably mat.
Yeah.
Or couch or something.
Exactly. And that's because the AI has seen that pattern a ton of times in its training data.
So it's all about probability.
Exactly, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so this is starting to make sense. But how does the AI actually break down our prompt? How does it make sense of it?
So there's this process called tokenization. Imagine you have a sentence. Okay. Tokenization breaks that sentence down into smaller parts, which could be words or parts of words, or even punctuation marks.
So it's like taking apart a Lego structure, and each brick is a word or a punctuation mark.
That's a really good way to visualize it. And these pieces or tokens are what the AI actually works with.
Okay. So after the prompt is broken down into these tokens, what happens next?
So now we need to talk about something called a context window.
A context window.
Think of it as the AI's short-term memory.
Okay.
It's the amount of information the model can hold in its mind while it's processing your request.
Wait, so the AI has a memory limit.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. Does that mean if our prompt is too long, the AI might forget parts of it?
That's exactly right. If you try to juggle too many balls, some are going to drop.
Right.
And that's something we have to be mindful of as prompt engineers.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So we need to be concise.
If you stuff too much information into a single prompt, the AI might lose track.
And that could mess everything up.
And you might not get the right answer.
Okay, so keeping our prompts short and to the point.
Exactly. You need to make the most of that context window.
This is all really interesting. So we talked about tokenization, context windows, and this idea that AI is more about prediction than understanding.
Right.
How does this all help us be better prompt engineers?
Well, understanding how AI works on the inside can help us write prompts that are more effective.
Okay, yeah.
Remember, we want to get the results we're looking for.
So it's like we're learning the AI's language.
That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
And in the next part, we'll talk about some techniques to help you do just that.
Awesome. I can't wait.
Remember how we talked about the AI's short-term memory, that context window thing?
Yeah, like packing a suitcase.
Right, exactly. So how do we pack it well?
I like that analogy.
So let's get into some tips.
Okay.
I think the first thing is clarity. Being very precise in what you want.
Makes sense. Give it a map, not just go explore.
Exactly. Don't just say write a poem. Say something like write a sonnet about autumn.
Ooh, okay, much more specific.
Yeah, give it the form, the theme. And that actually leads to the next tip, which is specificity.
Okay.
The more detail you can give, the better the AI can respond.
It's making me think back to that tokenization stuff.
Right.
More details means more tokens for the AI to work with.
Yeah, exactly. Like giving it a high-res image instead of a blurry one.
Okay, so how do we actually make our prompts more specific? What are some tips for that?
One thing you can do is give examples.
Example?
Let's say you want product descriptions written in a certain style. Show the AI a few good ones first.
This is the vibe, now you try.
Exactly. Those examples act as a guide.
Wow. This is really interesting stuff. It's like a mix of art and science, intuition and strategy.
It definitely is both. You need to know how AI works, but also have that creative touch.
Yeah. Okay, so we've talked about clarity, specificity, and examples. What else should we keep in mind?
Structure, how your prompt is organized.
Structure. Okay. What does a structured prompt look like?
Think of it like giving clear instructions. You could say, instruction, do this, input, use this information, output, give it to me like this.
Ooh, very organized.
Yeah, and the AI loves that.
It's like giving it a checklist.
Right. Now what about keywords?
2 words, yeah. Do they matter?
They totally matter. They're like signposts pointing the AI to the right info.
So if I'm researching history, I should include names and dates.
Exactly. It helps the AI find what you need in all that data.
Wow, this is all really helpful. I feel like I'm leveling up my prompt engineering skills already.
You are. And the key is to keep practicing.
Practice makes perfect, right?
The more you experiment, the better you'll get.
It's like learning a new language.
That's a great analogy. Don't be afraid to mess up, Just keep refining what you do.
I love that. Embrace the process. Okay, so we covered a lot. Can we quickly go over the main points?
Absolutely. Let's recap.
Okay.
Clarity is key. Be clear and specific in what you want. Give details. Be specific. That helps the AI give you better responses.
Okay.
Use examples. Show the AI what good output looks like.
Yep.
Structure your prompts clearly, like instructions.
Gotcha.
And use keywords to guide the AI to the right information.
These are great takeaways. Mastering these principles will be able to craft really effective prompts.
Exactly. So, are you ready to level up even further?
I am. What else can we do with prompt engineering? I feel like we've got this powerful tool in our hands, and now we're really learning how to use it.
Exactly.
So what else can we do to make our prompts even better?
Well, let's move into some advanced techniques now.
Okay, bring it on.
Have you heard of few-shot learning?
Few-shot learning, no. What's that?
It's kind of like, imagine teaching someone a new skill.
Okay.
You wouldn't just tell them what to do. You'd show them some examples.
Right. You demonstrate it.
Yeah. And few-shot learning is similar. We give the AI a few examples of what we want.
Before we give it the actual prompt.
Exactly.
Okay, I see. So it's like giving the AI a little training session.
Exactly.
Okay.
Let's say you want the AI to come up with titles for a children's book.
Okay.
You could give it some examples of fun titles first, like The Unicorn Who Lost His Sparkle or something.
Oh, I love that.
Right.
So we're kind of setting the tone.
Exactly. You're showing the AI the style you want.
Wow. So by giving these examples, we can kind of guide the AI's creativity.
Exactly. And you can use few-shot learning for all sorts of things. Writing, coding, anything.
I'm realizing that prompt engineering is more than just giving commands. It's about really communicating with AI.
That's a great way to put it.
And, giving it a little inspiration sometimes.
But what about chain of thought prompting?
Chain of thought. Okay, what's that?
It's basically guiding the AI through a problem step by step.
Oh, okay.
So instead of asking for the answer right away, we break it down.
I see. So we help the AI think through it.
Exactly. It's like you're having a conversation with the AI.
So instead of just getting an answer, we're actually helping it learn how to solve problems.
That's a great way to think about it. And it can be really helpful for tasks that involve logic and reasoning.
This is incredible. It's like we've gone from writing basic instructions to, conducting a symphony of AI.
You got it.
Wow. I can't believe how much we've covered today.
Me neither.
Before we wrap up, let's go over the main points from this last section.
That's good.
So first we talked about few-shot learning, where we give the AI some examples before the prompt.
Right.
And then we discussed chain of thought prompting, which is all about breaking down the problem and guiding the AI.
Right. And those techniques, plus all the basics we talked about earlier, can really help you write effective prompts.
For sure. So listeners, if you want to learn even more, I highly recommend checking out the Generative AI Professional Prompt Engineering Guide by George Tome.
It's a really great resource.
Yes, it covers everything we talked about and more. And remember, the journey doesn't end here. Keep experimenting, keep learning, and you'll be amazed by what you can achieve with AI. That's it for today's deep dive. Thanks for listening.